Good morning, my name is Graham Burcock. I'm the Managing Director of Oakwood Valuation Surveyors. We cover the northwest of England and North Wales. Now, agricultural valuations form a big part of what we do in our business, so we're often asked what is happening to the value of farmland, and never has there been more crucial time to think about it than during the current coronavirus crisis that we're suffering. At the moment, of course, we're in lockdown. That's why I'm at home and not in the office or out on a farm. We can do limited inspections, so we can't, for example, inspect farmhouses, buildings where there are people present, and operational property. We can inspect farmland, so it's bare farmland and perhaps with outlying buildings, grain stores and Dutch barns and so on, where people are not going to be present. Then we can continue to inspect those. We can, in some circumstances, do a desktop valuation, but let's say that's not ideal. I suspect that anybody who tells you the value of farmland today is probably wrong. There is no functioning market, but what we can do is apply our expert advice to the trends of the market. We can look at what's been sold before, how does the land grade affect it, the area affected, and we'll apply all our experience to give you a valuation. Now, the value of farmland operates in a different economy than the remainder of property within the UK. As I've been told in the 30 years I've been here by many a person, they're not making any more of it. You can buy a house and they'll build another one, buy an office and offices get built, but farmland, once it's gone, it's gone. Now, in terms of profitability, profitability doesn't really relate to the value of agricultural land. 2 years ago, farmers suffered by virtue of a drought. We had a very long hot summer. Great for those that didn't have to farm, but yields were very poor and profit was affected. Last year we saw biblical rain. It started raining towards the end of July and carried on through to this spring. Again, very difficult farming and people were unable to get potatoes out. A lot of corn was underwater. This year, fingers crossed, we're in the end of April and the weather so far so good, but we don't know what's to come. Having said that about profitability, of course, the real drivers for the purchase of farmland are taxation. Inheritance tax. If you own farmland, it's possible to get up to 100% agricultural property relief. That's no tax payable. Now, it does depend how you structure your ownership. You don't have to farm it yourself. You can let it on a farm business tenancy agreement. And that's a massive bonus for those who have surplus cash, particularly at the moment when cash in the bank has very little value. 0.1% is the Bank of England base rate. So the modest returns we've generally seen in history on farmland of 1, 2, 3, 4%, they actually start to look quite attractive when you're not earning any interest on your money in the bank, plus the bonus of inheritance tax relief. The other driver is capital gains tax. A lot of land, particularly in Cheshire where we operate, on the urban fringes of Manchester and Liverpool and other conurbations, a lot of land has been sold for development. Now, what that means is that the farmers and landowners who receive the funds from those sales tend to look to reinvest in more farmland because it saves capital gains tax. It's as simple as that. And that's why we've seen the prices of bare land up to sort of £20,000 an acre in Cheshire. And Cheshire always historically has had a very high value against the national average. What about lending? Well, lenders are looking at how they're going to come out of this. Most lending has temporarily stopped. The loan to value may not be what it was. Traditionally, agricultural lending was at about 60%. You could get more, 70, 80% from some lenders, but in the short term, we see that that's going to be impacted and it might be down to 50% from the feedback I'm getting from some lenders. So where does that leave agricultural land values? Well, agricultural land will survive. I'll come back to my motto, they're not making any more of it. We're always happy to speak about individual cases. Although we're in lockdown, we can do drive-bys. We have a good knowledge of Cheshire and the surrounding counties in which we work. So if you'd like to speak about your farmland, either purchase, sale, or doing deals in terms of family distribution, taxation, whatever it is, then please do feel free to call Oakwood Valuation Surveyors and we'd be happy to speak to you. Thank you very much.